Okay, delighted to have Robert MacIntyre here at the Genesis Scottish Open. Bob, you're leading Scott now in the race to Dubai rankings and a few good weeks leading into your home Open. Just give us a sense of what it's like to be back in Scotland.
Yeah, it's obviously great to be back on home soil. There's been a lot of travel this year, all over the place, all over the world. But no, it's always good to get back here and showing a bit of form's obviously a positive. But the next 2 weeks are absolutely massive. That's what I've built the last 3 weeks up for, is to come into these two with a real freedom and just get ready to play golf.
I'm going to open straight up to questions from the floor. So, gentlemen, who would like to chat first? Fight it out amongst yourselves. Martin?
You've obviously talked recently, Bob, about there's been a lot going on in your head. Is the head clear now going into these 2 weeks, and just sort of talk through a lot that's been going on and finally getting through that, hopefully?
So I mean, last week was probably the best golf I've played in a long, long time. In about a year, I'd say. I had so much control of the golf ball. For 71 holes, I was in absolute cruise control. Obviously, I changed caddy. That's permanent. I changed coach there for 2.5 weeks, and then thought in my head this ain't the right time or place to be doing this just now, and went back to Simon there at the start of last week. After the Belfry, I phoned him up and just went back to what we'd done kind of leading into Italy last year. And I mean, we done good work on Wednesday, and Stuart Morgan, my performance coach, always talks about just you work on things, but when you go on the golf course, play golf. And on Thursday, it was so difficult with the wind, and I played unbelievable. I just played golf the way I knew how to play golf. I just swung the golf club with the shots I was trying to hit, and I played unbelievable, and I just carried on the rest of the week. So my head's in a good place. I feel like you got to take a couple of punches before you can hold a trophy. So it's one of them ones that, okay, we had such a good chance to win, but again, it was just all preparation for these 2 weeks.
Of all the decisions you made, that quick change, going back to Simon, was that difficult, or was that actually easier because you knew it was the right thing, or thought it was the right thing?
It's difficult in different ways, but in all honesty, it was pretty easy with the way I played in Germany and the British Masters. I mean, British Masters just was nowhere near good enough, and I was putting in a lot of work. It just wasn't the right fit at the right time. I'd worked unbelievable with Davey in 2000, or for about 7 years with Davey. So, I mean, it's not like Davey was a problem. It was almost the way that I play golf now. It wasn't fitting in, and it was pretty simple in my own head. I mean, there's so many people that you can get advice from, and they've got opinions. Everyone's got opinions. So for me, it's about trusting myself, and I thought it was the right time and the right move to make to go back to Davey, but I quickly realised it was a wrong time to make the change. And for professional golfers, I mean, Greg said it to me there last week. At the start of the week, he's like, we're in this job and you're not bulletproof, you can get fired. So he understands it, and I'm sure everyone else in the industry understands it.
Phil?
Bob, Richie was in here earlier. Obviously, you both had a chance to win. It all kind of came down to, I think it was the 13th for you and the 18th for Richie. But he was very much saying that he'll take the positives out of last week, that it was 99.9% spot on. Is that the same attitude for yourself? Or are you out there kicking down whatever?
I shared a car with Richie going to the airport last night, or on Sunday night, and I mean, Richie was on the phone speaking to his family, friends. I was getting phone calls from Stoddy, and I was hanging up in it. I wasn't speaking to nobody. I wasn't in the right frame of mind. But when I sit back and I look at it, I played for the first 12 holes. I played golf perfectly. That didn't put a foot wrong. I was hitting the right shots at the right time. Didn't hole a putt, but it was fine. I still had the lead, and I just hit. I had a good shot. I flushed it, but I just pulled it about 10 yards, and when my natural shape was a draw and the wind off the left, it was curving in the wrong direction. And when I seen it take off, I was like, just hit something, just give me a shot, and where it ended up, I mean, it wasn't pretty, but no, overall, I'd have said I played 71 holes the way I wanted to play them.
But if you weren't both getting phone calls, would that have been a quiet journey in the car, or would you have consoled each other?
No, he was, before we got in the car, we spoke to each other, but Richie's been out here a lot longer than me, and he was very calm and chatting away, but once he went on the phone calls, I sat in a huff in the front seat. Richie spent some cash and got me a bottle of Coke, so I was sitting there just in absolute silence, thinking to myself, what's just went wrong? Why has it went wrong? But I'm here now, and I mean, last week's last week.
How long does a Robert MacIntyre huff kind of last? As long as you want.
As long as you want. Depends what you've done. I mean, because it was my problem that was needing to sort, it lasts an hour. Once I got on that plane, I was fine, and once I spoke to people, and they just assured me that, you know what, that's not going to be the last hiccup that I have along in my journey. It's going to happen again. But if you keep putting yourself into the positions like Kenya, Korea, last week, I mean, I can't not lift a trophy at some point.
I mean, do you think you can never predict in this unpredictable game, but you feel you are pretty near?
It's feeling good. Before we set out on this 5-week stint, Stuart Morgan he was just like, right, for the next 3 weeks, it's preparing for the next event, prepare for the next event. So we're not worrying about really trying to win the golf tournament, we're just trying to prepare for these final 2 events. That's what I play golf for, is the Scottish Open and the Open Championship. I mean, and I feel like I've done that pretty well. I was 1 step shy last week, and what better time to correct the wrong than one of these next 2?
Richie was saying about this course suits certain players and whatever, but how do you assess the kind of course and the setup? Is it one that...
I've struggled here in the past, but links golf can be a hit or miss depending on the weather and side of the draw and whatnot, but the greens are looking a lot better than they used to. I said that to Eddie when he was driving around checking the course, and I was like, this place is getting better and better, and it's looking great just now, and hopefully my golf game kind of stays where it is and we can have a good week.
Okay.
Bob, there's been a lot of expectation on you in this event the last couple of years externally. Just the way you've discussed there about building up into it slowly and having a target. Is this as stress-free and kind of relaxed as you felt going into a Scottish Open? Do you feel a wee bit more at ease?
A little bit. I think that I'm a few years wiser. I know what I can and can't do, and it's almost like with the build-up of the 3 events, I've got to try and preserve some energy. So I'm literally played 9 holes, warmed up, played 9, do this, disappear. Play the Pro-Am tomorrow, disappear. It's just 9 hole. It's not... But the first year I played this, I put so much pressure on myself, and I don't need to do it. It's another golf tournament, and I just got to try and treat it like that. It's obviously a little bit different when it doesn't start the way you want it to start, but again, it's no matter what happens this week, I've got another shot next week, kind of thing.
Bob, some people are quick to sort of criticise Scottish mentality in winning positions. Does that bug you when you hear people say that?
You know, I see it, but these guys are just keyboard warriors, I suppose. I put myself out there. I'm a competitive person, whether it's golf, football, shinty, you name it. Even tennis. If I'm playing just a hit about, I'm wanting to win. It doesn't matter if it's with my wee niece. She's not beating me. I might give her a couple of points, but she's not beating me. But it annoys me. But I see it. I see little things. A couple of things have annoyed me recently. But again, everyone's got an opinion. I know that. I mean, I won Italy last year. That was my real breakthrough, I felt, with such a strong field. So
do those wee things make you more determined to achieve your goals?
It does a little bit, but they don't change what I do and how I do it. I see them, and I just accept that they're there. They're going to, no matter what happens. I mean, I could have done what Matt Southgate done, shot 9 under par and missed out by a shot, and they'd still be saying, "Oh well, he messed up Thursday, Friday, Saturday." So you can't keep them happy. I just keep myself happy.
Fatia? I think we need to go to the back.
When you enter the tournament, do you think about the win or to prepare for the next tournament?
The last 3 weeks is just about literally preparing for the next event. What do I need to do? Obviously, you're trying to win a golf tournament. You're out there trying to win, like Munich, the Belfry. You're still trying to win. I was in positions to win a couple of them, but it's not getting too caught up in the results in them ones. It's just about building up to this and making sure that you can hit all the shots when you need to hit them. And I think I done that well last week. And last week was I thought it was great preparation for this week with the wind and whatnot going on, and obviously the weather. But it's just literally building up for these weeks are the ones you want to win.
Obviously, the mistake you made on 14 last week, you accepted after the tournament, and then this helped you to believe that it's preparation?
Yeah, I accepted it once it happened. Anyone could speak to Greg. It was probably the most... I've worked a lot on my attitude and my mental side of it within the last year, and I accepted it unbelievably well. Obviously, you were angry. You're going to get angry. But I accepted it really well. It was just the shock of what just happened that I couldn't get over. It was as though I'd got knocked down onto the canvas and you couldn't get back up. It was like, where's that come from? I didn't know. Like, I finished the hole. I knew I was making double or triple. Hole a good putt for a double, if not make triple. But I just couldn't. Once I walked off that green, I was clear, hit a great shot into 14. But I couldn't stop thinking about what had just happened because it was out of absolutely nowhere. I had full control of my golf ball for the whole tournament until that one shot.
Just looking ahead to Hoylake, any experience of playing the course, and if not, how will you sort of prepare? Just try and do it as normal, or?
Yeah, I've never been. I've got a few mates that, through Matty Jordan, that live down there. We've played Walker Cup together, so a couple of them I've kept in touch in the last couple of years. So I'll get a bit of advice from them, but other than that, just go and treat it like another golf tournament. Hit the shots you want to hit and hit your numbers, and you'll do all right.
And we spoke before the US Open about LA Country Club. How did you enjoy or not enjoy viewing it? You were spot on about how difficult the short par 3 was going to be.
Yeah, it was carnage that when they knocked up to just a flick. I think it was a decent US Open. There just wasn't many. You didn't feel the atmosphere on the TV, but from a golf side of it, I thought it was a good one.
And why can't professionals hit an 80-yard shot? What's the matter with you lot?
No easy.
It is if that's as far as you can hit it. So.
No, I said it was a great hole. I mean, when they knock it down there, knock the tee up, there's a wee hump in the middle of that green that you miss it the wrong side, you're done for. You hit the right side, you're perfect. Good holes don't need to be long.
Very well. Thank you, Bob, for your time this week. And
Cheers.
We got one more to the other Bob. Apologies.
Okay, I'm the bad guy anyway, so I wanted to ask you about the recent goings on with the agreement between the tours and everything. I'm just be the benefits for the DP World Tour when it's a long way to be decided still. But what can help the DP World Tour here with this coming together? Hopefully.
I mean, I don't know what would be the benefits. I know there's obviously the financial side of it. That's why guys have went to them. But until it happens, there's so much to go on, whether it happens or not. So I think until then, I wouldn't have anything to say. I just don't know. I could be sitting here next year and it's not going ahead, and we're back to square one. So, I mean, until that happens, I'm not the brightest guy, so I don't really read into it, and I don't see the ins and outs of the agreements or what can happen. But for now, it's just let the guys at the top of the table deal with it, and I'll get told what I need to know when I need to know.
Thank you, Bob. All the best for this week.
Thank you.